Day 2 of NFL free agency is here, and Harrison Graham, Chase Sr. are here for you to break down the latest in free agency. Welcome into NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Appreciate everybody tuning in. The Baltimore Ravens, Chase, just made a big deal, so let's catch you guys up on what they've been up to. Marcus Williams, as this safety market continues to be pretty hot, Chase. 5 years, $70 million. That's $14 million per year. 37 of which is guaranteed. Safety's getting the bag this year.
Safety's getting the bag this year, and he's just one of them who's really getting paid handsomely. Coming up north from the New Orleans Saints, where he was really, really good for 5 years. What I like about this, I actually think this is somewhat affordable. I really like the player. I like his age, too. Last year, age 25 season, he was terrific. 8 pass breakups, 74 tackles, no tackles for loss, so he's not much of a box safety, but in this Baltimore defensive scheme, you don't really want him around the box. He's a ball hawk who can really range sideline to sideline, very good athlete with excellent size, 6'1", 195. I also like the fact that they're bringing in Marcus Williams on top of them having a very good defensive line. So they're going to be able to feast, they're going to be able to get after the opposing quarterback, and that's then going to allow Marcus Williams to really feast in that back end with some really good cornerbacks on that roster, obviously including one of the best in the NFL, Marlon Humphrey.
Look, they've been looking for a center fielder type ever since the Earl Thomas disaster went down. And hey, stay away from your brother, Marcus. That's my advice to you. But the point remains the same. Baltimore has not had that guy that can roam center field, if you will, at the safety position. Now Marcus Williams can do that. He can come in here, be that guy that can help take the football away. Like you said, not much of a box safety, but that's what Deshaun Elliott's for. He could be that guy for Baltimore. So I think that can be a good match together as the Ravens bring in probably the best, if not one of the best safeties remaining on the open market. There's still a couple of other names out there. I know Baltimore had been linked to Tyrann Mathieu as well, but I like this addition for the Ravens. They had been a little bit quiet in free agency, but now they make a big move by bringing in a Marcus Williams who had 74 tackles last year, a couple of picks, 8 pass breakups as well. Still a young ascending player like you mentioned earlier, Chase. Grade the signing of Marcus Williams for the Baltimore Ravens. Type A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give this a solid A-. It fills a need. They needed a free safety. He helps you do that. I'll give this an A- signing. $14 million a year is a lot for a safety, Chase, but if he does a lot of different things for you, which he does, I think it's a pretty good deal.
I like it a lot, and it was a big area that Baltimore really needed to address. And I like the player. I really like him. There was one play last year where he took a bad angle and really got burnt en route to the crib, but Marcus Williams gives you physicality. He gives you a good leader. He can really anchor that back end, and the Ravens know all about good safety play. They had arguably the league's best safety of all time in Ed Reed.
Yep.
Marcus Williams isn't going to be that level of player, but does bring some similar attributes to the football field with some of those ball hawking skills and him serving as a center fielder in that back end.
Yeah, I mean, you start to think about this secondary as a whole. You've got him, you've got Deshaun Elliott, you've got a couple of really good corners in Humphrey and Peters. I mean, the back end in Baltimore is really loaded now with the addition of Marcus Williams. And look, when you build a defense, you really got 2 options. You either build that front four where you get consistent pressure, or you have an elite secondary. Baltimore has an elite secondary with a decent pass rush as well. This should be one of the most feared defenses in the NFL yet again, which has been the case for about the last 15 years. Do the Ravens have the best secondary in the NFL, Chase? Y for yes, N for no. I mean, it's top 5 for sure, right?
I think so. No doubt about it. I mean, Marlon Humphrey, yes, his season was cut short last year, but this is a top 5 secondary in the NFL. Yeah.
So get your votes in Y for yes or N for no. We'll transition into some Ravens news and rumors around free agency as well. We just broke down the signing of Marcus Williams, but Za'darius Smith, a potential target for Baltimore. I just mentioned, Chase, they could add another pass rusher now that secondary has been taken care of. Didn't play basically at all a year ago for Green Bay, but this has been one of the better pass rushers over the past 4 or 5 years. Could be an intriguing veteran option for the Ravens in free agency.
He can really still play. Now, obviously dealt with a lot of injuries last year, but I just love how aggressive Baltimore is being. Yes, the big looming question, what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson? And obviously financially, that's going to have implications as far as what Baltimore is going to do and what they're going to be able to do financially in free agency, but when healthy, Za'darius Smith is really good. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was awesome for Green Bay, and I'm always a proponent and always a fan of loading up that defensive line, especially when you have other good pieces. So while Za'darius Smith might have injury issues, and while the play might be declining now because of age, you pair him up with some other really good players on that defensive front, it allows some of these guys to flourish because the key focus isn't on that individual player.
Yeah, so Za'Darius Smith, I think this is the exact type of guy Baltimore gets, where they can get him, for 75 cents on the dollar because he's coming off a year where he wasn't able to stay healthy, and they get a bit of a discount. I think that would make a lot of sense for Baltimore. Hey, our Ravens channel, one of our newer ones here at Chat Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, youtube.com/RavensTV. The latest Ravens news and rumors can be found here on our Ravens channel, so go ahead and subscribe. And if you're watching on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, go ahead and go to the link below, youtube.com/RavensTV, to find more Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. I'll take you through the last story here on Bradley Bozeman, the center, who's been linked to several other teams, has not signed anywhere yet. Maybe you bring him back now if you're Baltimore. Kind of seemed like, he was going to go elsewhere. The market for him is reportedly heating up, as you've seen guys like Brian Allen sign elsewhere. Ryan Jensen re-signed in free agency as well. Bozeman's kind of that best option left at the center position. Ted Karras also signed with Cincinnati. Not a lot of centers left, although the Browns did release their center earlier today, so he could get in the mix as well. But Bradley Bozeman, I'd like Baltimore to bring him back. We'll see what he ends up doing. Calais Campbell, same deal. Is he going to return to the Baltimore Ravens? We'll have to wait and see. Didn't do much for the Ravens a year ago. I liked the signing when they brought him in. Wasn't that productive, though, for Baltimore. He's getting up there. I think he's 35, 36 now. One of the premier pass rushers a few years ago. But as you age, you don't quite get home nearly as often. So Bozeman, Campbell, these are a couple of internal free agents to keep an eye on, as they are both going to have markets, especially Bozeman, like I mentioned. But Campbell, along with Za'Darius Smith, I think bringing back at least, or getting one of those guys, obviously Smith would be an external free agent, to help rush the passer, I think would be critical for this Ravens defense. Make sure you subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. We're live breaking down the latest NFL news, rumors here on day 2 of NFL free agency. If you're watching on our Ravens channel, go check us out. We're live right now, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. We will have you covered throughout the NFL offseason.